Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ronline Report. Today's guest you know very well. He's one of the fastest rising stars in the IFBB Pro League. Currently, just a few days away from the New York Pro, not in New York, but Tampa, Florida. Please welcome Patrick, the future Moore. What's up, Patrick?
Not much, man. Yeah, we have the new Tampa or the Tampa York or whatever we're going to call it.
Floribama? No, Tampa.
Yeah. It's crazy, man, but it at least it's happening. You know, that's the thing is we were originally scheduled for the Puerto Rico Pro, and they canceled that. It was August 29th. And so it's a good thing, man, that they announced this one, and we were already in stride. We just didn't, those last 4 weeks of prep. It's good because I didn't want to have to rush and go to the actual Tampa show. I mean, I could have pushed it, but, man, I wasn't going to be – my body has changed so much from that point to now. It would have been a huge mistake, to do that. So now this is going to be a real good show this time.
So let's back up to the last time we spoke was right after the Arnold. So you didn't do as well there as you wanted to. You flattened out toward the end, and that definitely hurt where you should have placed, I felt. But after that show, were you thinking, well, you still want to get to Olympia this year? And at that point, we're still thinking Olympia was September, as it's supposed to be. So was that your plan right after Arnold? Was it Puerto Rico Pro?
Yeah, well, I was going to do the New York or California or Toronto, one of the Canada shows. This was before the virus shut everything down. And because, we had Arnold Australia as well. So that would have given me an opportunity to place better at that show. We would have hit the peak then since we missed it back at Ohio. So originally we would have been competing in, we would have just held it until May or June or whatever. And, man, it was both shows were pushed back. New York was pushed back a few times, and so was California. So now that they're both back-to-back, so we're doing California as well because it's a week later.
Okay, good.
In Vegas. So
you are the defending Cal Pro champion, by the way.
Yeah. So I had to go back, man, and especially since I'm better. You always want to go. I like that show, and the fact that it's in Vegas doesn't hurt either.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say you're better, explain exactly how. More muscle mass in general, body parts.
Yeah. So I'm a heavier weight than I was last year at the Olympia and at the Arnold. That's the thing is I was actually better at the Arnold. We just missed the mark. So, being flat, it's you already know, man, it's like that big of a window. Yeah. And if you're on, then you're on. And you can really see where you improved at. But, I looked at even the progress pictures that I was sent over to Chris leading up to the show. It was clear that I was better. Yeah. So same game plan this time as I was looking at the pictures from the Arnold to this prep. I really don't have to say much, man. People will see once I'm on stage, but I'm definitely better, bigger, more dense because, my muscle is starting to mature. The more shows I do, the more experience I get at doing this, learning my body. And we're coming up on 2 years I've worked with Chris. So he's getting a little more familiar, too, with how my body works. So we're still learning, but we have a little more of a better insight than we did the last few shows.
So let's put this in perspective. You turned pro July 2017 at the USA as a super heavy. What'd you weigh when you turned pro?
I believe I was 231 maybe at that show, maybe 229. I was the lightest super heavyweight at that show.
And you're 6 foot, 6'1"?
5'10".
5'10"? Man, it's all the same to me. I look up and say, it must be like 6 foot. Okay. So what are you sitting at right now weight-wise?
We're 245, 246. Okay. Yeah, so it's staying around there, and we don't have anything left to lose, man, but some water, because we've been holding a lower body fat since every month was the shows in 4 weeks. It's in 4 weeks, and so it was good to when we needed to hit the gas. The changes just came really quick.
So you started prep for the Arnold probably like early December last year.
Yeah.
So you've been in by the time you get on the stage because California is the week after New York.
Yeah.
So by the time you get on that stage, it'll be like 9 months you've been in prep?
Man, longer than that. Because, after in 2018, once I had the pro debut, like we backed off a little bit. And then around, I would say November of 2018, we started getting in prep mode for California. Even though it was in May, we just kind of wanted to get going. So I've been like adhering to more of a strict diet, man, for damn near close to 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but I have to have that food to grow. That's the only
Right.
thing is my body. What it'll I'll get a pump and it'll respond slightly to like bulking or junk food, but it doesn't give me quality muscle.
Right.
So we really had to kind of like tighten up on our diet, even in the off season.
Yeah, because you call it off season, but you post pictures, videos constantly, and
Mm-hmm.
you always look. I don't know. You never look more than like 6 weeks out to me ever.
Yeah, I've never been more than 15 pounds outside of contest weight.
Wow.
And me and Chris even tried something interesting for about 3 weeks. I literally did a large pizza or a double cheeseburger and 2 large fries and a Coke every single night. Just
Ooh.
every night, Ron. And when it was all said and done, I think I gained like 4 pounds. And then
Wow.
I immediately lost it when I went to the clean food. My body just it burns everything, man.
Mm.
So it's a gift and a curse because
Yeah.
I want to grow, but the benefit of it is I know when I do gain weight, it's lean muscle.
Right.
So I can see throughout the year where a lot of guys have that vast difference in their weight off
Yeah.
stage versus on stage. They may lose 50 pounds. Well, it's kind of hard, I would think, from my perspective, to see true muscle mass gain when you're that broad of a scope.
It's
But
true.
if I'm 210 on stage and then I'm 225 in the off season, and then as I start prep, I kind of go up to 230. Well, that's a good indication that that's a good few pounds of lean muscle that I accumulated throughout that time.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with this prep. The same thing is, I think when I started, at the point I'm at now was the weight I was when I started the Arnold prep. So at 245, but I'm a lot leaner than at that point. So, at a higher weight. So that's how I know, I've gained some muscle in that time.
Do you get knocked a lot? Maybe by trolls or just even like people that you respect the opinion for, competing all the time because people say Patrick needs to fill out. I think I said that, but you know, you have been able to improve and grow while staying lean and while doing show after show. You haven't taken like a full year off yet, and I don't know if you ever will, really,
No,
because
I won't. The
yeah,
thing is, you have to think about it. I know my body. Yeah, so that's the thing is the people that are online, pictures will never show for any athlete will never show true improvement. I mean, I send pictures to Chris and I send them in different lighting. Sometimes I send a video, all these different things, so we can really see where we change. If I wasn't improving, he would be the first person to tell me, "Hey, let's just hold off." But Chris knows, and I know my body. So for me, I'm competing often because I know that I'm growing. Nonetheless, other guys are, I'm sorry, maybe they're lazy that they don't compete as often,
yeah,
that they need to take 2 years off or whatever. But dude, I don't have time to wait. So, these other guys have 25, 30 shows. I'm sitting here on like show number 8.
mm,
So I kind of have to, I got to get my body used to that growing phase. And so I'm making gains as I'm doing this. But that's the thing is, if you compete once a year, that's I'm only competing multiple times. So 2018 I competed once.
yeah,
2019 I competed twice because I qualified for the Olympia.
right,
This year would have been the same thing. If I would have done how I needed to do at the Arnold, I would have qualified or whatever, or done another show early in the year, and then I go on to do Olympia.
yeah.
So the guys in the '90s competed weeks on end, back to back.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Milos
so
would do it. Milos did a show like every damn weekend.
exactly, dude. So these new age guys and these new age audience or fans don't know what they're talking about when they're saying, "Oh, well, you should take time off." What if I take a year off, right?
Yeah,
So, name me one person. There may be some people out there, but that's gonna be in prep mode and training like that year round. Because if I take time off, I'm gonna enjoy my family. I'm gonna enjoy some vacation time. I'm gonna do the exact same thing I would do if I took 6 months off.
mm,
So I'll take whatever time I feel necessary in between the shows. And as we grow, we don't have to sign a contract until a couple weeks out from the show. So if I
yeah,
feel like I have not improved, then I won't do the show.
gotcha.
But if I feel like I have, then I'm going to ink the contract and I'm going to get on stage.
Right
And
on.
I mean, so where people are, oh well, you can't make recommendations to someone. They're not here training with me every day. But
Sure.
when I'm in the gym, people that are here in Texas, man, or in Houston, will tell you, yeah, when Patrick's in the gym, he's training like he's prepping for a show all the time.
Mm,
So I train hard all the time.
yeah.
And So that's my call to make ultimately.
Yeah.
You know,
And you make a good point, because when you're training, anybody out there who's competed knows that when you're training, when you have a show this date on the calendar,
yeah,
there's no slacking. You're focused. Every single workout is 100%, because May 15th or September, whatever day I'm on stage that day in my posing trunks, I better
yeah.
be looking as good as. Whereas these people that take a year or two off, I know they all say, yeah, I've been training, but really, are they really 100% for all that time, for a year or 2 years? I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, man. I've seen guys take a year off and then they come back and not that impressive.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
some of the changes they needed to make weren't made.
right.
And that's the thing is when you know you have a show in 6 months, there's an urgency there for you to get on your job. That means every training session counts. If I have a year off, dude, on Monday I stick to a diet. On Tuesday I'd eat Cinnabon. On Wednesday I'd eat a pizza. Then Thursday I'd stick to a diet. Then Friday I'd go drink. There's no, that's just how it goes. So until I say like I'm doing this show, this is how much time I have to prep. If it's 6 months, that means I have about 4 months to build up what I can, and
Yeah,
then I have about 8 weeks to where I really tighten things up to get ready for the stage.
yeah. No, quarantine, because the last time we talked was really just the beginning of everything before this. It's right when things are starting to shut down. So, how did it affect you? Were you able to keep training and everything was status quo for you this whole time?
Yeah, I had no off. I had no. There were no missed days in quarantine. I trained all the time. I had access to gyms that were closed. There was
Yeah,
no one in the gym, no one training. Owners were gracious enough, because this is my career. It's not just leisure activity.
right.
And so I worked out something with them and told them, hey, I'll clean up, I'll do whatever I need to do, but I just need to have access for like an hour. Not got to work out because at any day they can say, hey, we have a show and I want to be able to get ready. I don't want to have to take time off, like unfortunately some of the other athletes had to.
Yeah.
Um, you know, at first food was a problem. Getting all that I needed. There were multiple trips to the
Mm,
store because everyone was hoarding stuff, so that was a nightmare.
yeah.
It's quarantine. It had some effects on my personal life. Relationship wise, all that, man. It's just crazy. So 2020 has been quite a year for me.
Yeah, no, I know we're not going to get into very personal details on this, but you are in a different place in your personal life than you have been for quite a long time. You're single or going to be single again.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not. I don't want to ask personally about your exact situation, but there's a lot of bodybuilders out there watching this who are in relationships, and a lot of times their girlfriend, their wife, they're not into this stuff at all.
Yeah.
They love their man. They like looking in his body, feeling his body, but the whole training, the eating, everything, especially if it's a competitor, that's contest prep. It's like a whole extra level of, it's a selfish sport. You have to be on your meals, your workouts. It should be anyway. If you're going to be the best,
Yeah.
you have to be all about your workouts, your cardio, your meals, your posing, your tanning, all that stuff, because the other guy's going to be,
Yeah.
and he's going to beat you if you're not. Um,
100%.
so just give me some perspective on, you know, whatever you're comfortable saying as far as the situation in the past versus the situation you're in now with regards to uh, how much time and effort you're able to apply toward your bodybuilding.
Yeah. So it's a bit. So I am single now. And it happens, man. I'm not the first athlete that was with someone, and the sport it takes a lot. And when you're for all the guys that have a partner or a girlfriend or a fiance or whatever, and you're trying to go to a high level with this, if you're a competitor like how I am,
Yeah.
you have a lot of other things that factor into it. So it's not just my workout, the diet, it's the social media. I have endorsements, sponsors. So I'm always having to engage with fans. There's different aspects that I have to do also outside of the sport. So if you're not with a person that's secure and that can handle, all the attention that comes, everything that comes with it. I mean, there will be fake pages contacting her. Oh, your man's this, your man, blah blah blah. Just
Yeah.
all the nonsense that comes with social media. I could tell you if I was not doing what I'm doing with
Mm.
bodybuilding, I would not be on social media. because it's a BS racket when it comes to your personal life. So if people will notice now, I don't really post my personal life on there, and
Yeah.
that'll how when I'm with someone in the future, it'll be very rare. If I'm with someone and I post a picture, I won't tag or mention the person
Yeah.
because there's some things you got to keep private to yourself when you're trying to do this sport because they only have access to what I allow them to have access to, and you
Mm.
don't know who has what motives or whatever. So
Right.
there's that aspect of it. I had to deal with that because I'm always on social media. I'm always engaging, commenting back, so on and so forth. And then it was the training, the shows, because prep, whatever amount of time it takes up, she's having to sacrifice. Maybe she wants to go to happy hour or go on vacation or do just things that I simply can't do at the time.
Right.
Uh, so you have to be with someone that understands, like, hey, right now I have to do this. Like, I'll give you all the time that you need and everything that you need when I'm finished with this. But
Yeah.
for right now, this is what makes everything going. Now, if you want me to just not do anything and sit around and become some lazy guy and live off of you, that can be arranged too.
That's
But
awesome.
that's not my MO, man. I'm chasing something great, and unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And I just have to keep going, and that's my mentality anyway. I don't have time to be down about the situation. It's like, no, it's just on to the next. Like,
Yeah.
that happened. This is still going on. This is my livelihood. I'm trying to be in the history books, so I
Right.
don't have any time to slow down and do anything. So guys that are watching, make sure that the person you're with understands if you're trying to go to a high level, it's going to require some sacrifice, and not just on your part, but on their part too. And they have to
Mm.
be okay with that. And like you said, some will say that they're okay, but then once you get into the thick of it, their actions show that they're not really okay.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't had a prep, man. I haven't had a drama-free prep, and I don't know how long. I mean, I
Mm.
don't think any of them. I always had something going on, and so it's a relief in that aspect. And so it's been a good while. I've been able to put a lot more focus into my training. I go to the gym, and I don't have to rush my workouts. I don't have to worry about what time I go. I have to go early because I need to get back home and then, accommodate for whatever she wants to do. And it's just this right now, man. It's I think this environment that I'm in now is really going to prove me for some success going forward in the way that I look at the shows, the way that, I've had some other opportunities come up, which are great. I've signed a couple more deals with two companies.
Yeah.
So I'm able to give more time to them. And that's just how it is, man. Right now, I just gotta focus on what I'm doing, and everything else just has to take a back seat.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many guys I've known over the years that could have been much better bodybuilders, could have done better in the sport, but they either were in bad relationships or they were busy chasing girls around, and that took up so much time and energy that it
Yeah,
distracted them from, and I'm not saying everyone has to be white picket fence, two kids, a dog, and you don't have to exactly be
yeah,
that. Just
yeah,
having a stable, supportive home life.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like
got it. And that's the thing too is that, I talked to Phil, and and he was just like, of course, me, I'm talking about everything, and he was like, yeah, so just focus on your career. Don't be one of these guys running around chasing a bunch of girls, and because he was like, the opportunity will be there for
right.
that, and he was like, but same thing for me. I don't want to take up time doing that, man. That's I run around giving energy to a bunch of different women. Then where's going to be the energy for myself to put into the sport? So I just feel like eventually if someone comes along, the right person, then that'll be that. And it'll work out how it's supposed to work out. But it's everything right now will have to grow off of my career because I'm not going to go through like that same situation again where I'm constantly having to sacrifice and, I have tension in the home because of my job and my engagement on social media. And I'm always having to justify this and no one wants to do that, man. It's a headache.
Dude, social media, I guarantee you the divorce rate is going up because of social media.
Oh, the divorce rate is at a man between quarantine and social media. Oh,
Mm.
I'm sure these divorce attorneys are probably cleaning up.
Ooh,
It's
dude.
like Christmas.
Dude, they're like one of the, Amazon, divorce attorneys, liquor stores.
Yeah,
There's a few businesses that are doing great, and I'm
yeah.
sure that's
I
one of
know
them.
four of the guys that are getting divorced. Man, it's crazy.
Well,
And I think with quarantine, it really makes you have to think. You have to stay in the house with this person. So for some people, going to work, that's their decompression time.
right.
Even though they're working, but they get a chance to get out of the house and be in their own brain, process their own thoughts. But if you're in a home with someone, you're always having to be on because you want to. That's just how it is. And so, closed in and no break from each other. Just think if you really don't truly enjoy each other's company, man, that somebody's gonna be like, this sucks. Like I don't want this anymore, and then that'll be that. So some things are supposed to happen. I feel like a lot of stuff that always happens, man. Personally, professionally, whatever, it had to happen how it happened, always.
I'm not crying. This is sweat. But
yeah, no, you're good.
no, so two phrases come to mind based on what you just said. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and familiarity breeds contempt.
Yep,
because
100%.
people, you stick two people, and it's like being in a jail cell. You know, you have nowhere to go. You're like stuck with this person 24/7. All right, let's shift gears, man. You were talking. We had a brief phone call, and you talked about your gym. And your gym in Houston. I don't know if you want to give it a shout out or not. You said it's kind of got a Metroflex vibe.
Yeah.
And tell me about that because it's Metroflex is obviously the most iconic gym in the world.
Yeah. So it's Species Gym and it's in Katy, which it's still Houston. And but man, the temperature in the gym since I've been training there for a few months now, it's pretty much consistently 95 to 100 degrees. It's always hot, and there's people here that are familiar with that gym, but it's very very hot. But it did allow the opportunity to get into shape quicker because I train pretty, like I said, hard all the time, and so every day I was just sweating profusely, big time. And I just noticed I was getting into shape quicker and quicker and quicker. And like I said, now I see why Ronnie, Branch, Johnny, those guys look like they look training in that atmosphere all the time, especially when it's hot. So just think if they're doing the Olympia in September, well, hell, here in Texas, it really heats up for June, July, August for us. So it's been a really, really good deal. At first, it was tough, getting used to that coming from a gym that had air conditioning. But at this gym, it took a couple of weeks, and then I adjusted, and then the culture there, people are more serious about the workout. Of course, there's some chitty chatty people there, but once I got through that little wave when the gym's opened back up and stuff, everything was good. So it's a real good energy in that gym. The equipment is very unique. They have an entire leg room, so it's a huge room that's only leg stuff. It's nothing but leg equipment. It's big, and so it's great, man. Training has been really, really good at that gym.
Yeah. Did it take you a while? I mean, I've rarely been at a gym that's got a temperature like that, but it seems like it saps the energy and the strength. Did you go through that at first, and then your body just adjusted to it?
Yes, for about a couple of weeks I did that because it's just my body's like, what the hell is going on? Because I normally sweat a lot easily anyway, all the time. And being in that elevated temperature like that, my core temperature heated up quicker. So breathing was a lot different. Now, the gym is 30 minutes from me. I drive to that gym every day. So it's an hour, there and back. Yeah. I just refuse to go to any other gym now. I like it that much. And it's extreme. And I tell people, there's no AC. But I'm used to it now, man. I can't really train anywhere else. I have to train.
Wow. So, I mean, if you went to a gym where it was 68 degrees, you'd probably be uncomfortable for you, at least mentally now.
Yeah, it would be. Because I feel like it's too comfortable. It's being too comfortable is uncomfortable. Now, being uncomfortable for me is comfortable. I'm used to that atmosphere. So what'll happen is when it gets cold, I'll just train in sweats and a hoodie. That'll be that.
So New York Pro, you did this show only once before, and it was 2018.
Yeah.
You placed the lucky 13th, I believe.
Yeah.
So, it'd be quite a story if you come back 2020 and win this thing. To go from 13th to first at the New York Pro, that'd be a huge jump. But, I'm looking at names here who's up against you. And, Jonathan's damn good. Max Charles is no joke. Ian's no joke. You're no joke. I mean, that's the way I like it. I don't want to go to a show where one guy just dominates and it's everyone else is like, oh well, guess I'll try again next year. I want this to be a battle. But what does this show mean to you? Because you did this show previously and you did not do very well.
Yeah, so this is all of the guys that went on to do great at the Olympia. Well, period. They have all won a New York Pro, at least once. So there's that aspect. That's just it's a second tier show, so it's not an easy show. It's known to be difficult. So I want to go up against the best of the best guys. This I feel like is also a make or break show for me because of the way that the Arnold went. I had to put that kind of pressure on myself to get in the shape that I'm in now for this show. So this is I've treated this prep and this show like it's Olympia. So it's gonna be serious, man. I'm not coming, to play around. It's not a game. Like
Yeah,
I'm really coming to win.
Yeah. So, what do you think you've improved on physique wise since the Arnold? Like what
Overall,
aspects?
but especially my legs.
Mm.
That's the biggest thing. I haven't posted any current progress pictures, but if I did, uh, it's very apparent. I'll send them to you separately,
Okay. Yeah, but
so you can. But they're a lot different. You can see it as soon as you look at the picture. You're like, oh wow, that's very different. If I was to post pictures from comparison from 2018 prep for New York Pro to this one, I mean it's night and day. Chrissy, like I can't even believe how quick and how much you've changed in such a short period of time.
Chris won't give you a compliment unless you
Oh
really
no,
deserve it.
he does not. Like I said, I posted a story and I told him to look at my calves, because they were all striated, and he was just like popping. That was it.
Nice.
He didn't. There was no, oh, you look crazy. Oh, it look. No, that's not him. So when he told me that, he was like, he just texted back this morning. He was like, unbelievable, amazing. And he's always a straight shooter, and he's not even satisfied yet. He's like, oh, but wait, just wait till I get there with you on Tuesday, and I pose you to death, because we changed a lot the last week. It's crazy, man. But like I said, he's starting to figure me out, so it's going to be a big benefit this time around.
Yeah. So what do you think the main things that you learned from the Arnold that you will apply successfully toward this show?
I should have handled that Arnold prep just like I did the Olympia. I wasn't worried about size. And with the Arnold, I think we wanted to kind of stay a little full to, be bigger. And with that, I don't feel like I suffered enough for that prep. I can admit that. I don't feel like I was that uncomfortable. This prep is a lot different. I feel like I did at the Olympia, but I'm just better. So it's just coming in shape for me with my structure. Being conditioned will give me an edge that not a lot of the guys will have. So I just have to play to my strengths basically, and not really worry about what the other guys are doing.
Yeah. I mean, that waist has not gotten any bigger from what I can tell either.
Oh no, not everything else grew, but it stayed the same.
Just to refresh people, in contest condition, what's that waist measure?
I need to measure it, but it's always been 28, 29.
That's so you use a waist trainer? No.
No, and it's great. It's small. I literally I can put my hands around my waist like this. Like my fingers are probably 6 inches from touching each other.
Wow.
It's just that's just my structure, man. My hips are just naturally narrow, so and my shoulders are broad, and then my hips are narrow, so it's just crazy. And now that my legs have grown, it's given a more pronounced factor to make the waist even look smaller. So like I said, I'll just have to shoot you the picture, and we're good to go.
Do I have permission to put that picture here or no?
No.
No. Okay. Gotcha.
Because it's current. I don't have any current ones up, so
Gotcha.
you'll get that one, and that'll be that. Because you've seen my physiques from Jump Street.
Right.
And in 2017, you always give me 100% positive feedback. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
You're not big enough here. You're not, like, always. So I'll shoot that to you because I value your opinion. But everyone else, they'll just have to wait until next Saturday.
Fair enough. Yeah, man. I'm excited. This is because this year so many shows have been canceled, so many shows have been postponed, but we lost almost half. We lost about half the shows, I want to say. Easily, yeah. So I was really worried about this New York Pro because the state of New York, they moved it to Jersey, and Jersey doesn't look good either.
No.
So
if
props
they didn't
to
make that call, man, to move the shows. I don't know what would have even happened with the Olympia because we would have no qualified guys.
Yeah.
I think at the time before any shows happened, there were only like 6 qualified people, and then 2 of them were for overseas. So we don't know how that would factor in. It's crazy, man. So
we don't know if those guys are going to. We don't know what travel situation is going to be like as far as. Hopefully those guys can get over here because, I mean, can you imagine All-American Olympia?
Man, it's crazy. You know, and
Yeah.
that's unfortunate because, you know, dude, I got mad respect for William Bonac. He always gives me, you know, a lot of advice, a lot of props. There's guys overseas that, you know, I will want to compete with them because they're good. You want to be with the best guys, you know what I mean? So, and there are some that are overseas. So hopefully they're able to come over and, you know, Rami, you know, it's we would like to have those guys in the show. I would personally, anyway.
Dude, Rami, Rolly, Hadi,
Yeah,
William.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean some of the very best people are from over in Europe or Middle East. So
yeah.
let's hope everything changes. But
Yeah,
in the
man.
meantime,
I
you're
need that
here.
competition, dude. We need that competition. It's the only way you get better.
Yeah, I mean maybe they'll have to compete virtually. Like in a room somewhere. No, they won't do that. Now I'm getting
That would be some
ridiculous.
crazy shit, man. Yeah.
That better not happen. I hope I
No.
didn't just predict something that's going to actually happen. But
Yeah, no. It'll just be. Last year was a crazy year. You know, this year will be a crazy year. So we'll see what happens.
but I've been saying this to everyone that's competing because I really believe strongly. You guys deserve so much credit. Anyone who's actually competing this year and stuck it out through postponement, and I was going to do the show. It was supposed to be in May. Now it's June. Now it's August. Now it's September.
Yeah.
This is contest prep. Even when it's a 16-week prep and for sure, it still sucks ass. You're
Yeah.
still exhausted and it's still a lot of work, but to have to keep dragging it out and then get the rug pulled out from you, postpone until this date, postpone until that date.
Yeah.
You guys, I
Because
take my hat off to you. You
it
guys are awesome.
because when it's not happening, you're like, man, I could be enjoying life. I could be
Right.
eating what I want, you know, have some drinks every now and then, enjoy some family company. But we're just like hanging in suspension. So we can't. And if you're really true to this craft, you don't have a problem with that. I didn't. I knew that I had improved from the Olympia, and I wasn't gonna stop until I got a chance to show those improvements. So now we have an opportunity to do so, and I'm very excited about it, man. I know a lot of the other guys are as well.
Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't be competing. This
Yeah.
this shows who's really hungry, who's really dedicated to advancing their career because yeah, otherwise you would just sit the year out. I know a lot of guys who just said, I'm not doing anything this year. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. I'm too eager to get back up there, man. I got to get back in the ring. I got to get back in there. Yeah,
We all, your fans are very grateful. You have a lot of people who've been waiting to see you again because, anyone who followed you and saw the progress pics at the Arnold and then saw you at the Arnold, it was like,
yeah, yeah,
because I know you were better and I couldn't see it on stage. And it was like,
yeah.
I know you were more frustrated than anyone else, I'm
Oh
sure,
man,
but
I was big time, dude. I went back to the room, and Chris will tell you, man, I was cursing. I was pissed. And because I knew I was on track for the show, and then I got up the next morning on Sunday, and I was even more pissed because I was like, oh god, damn it, like this is it, like what, So when
did
I
you,
just
Sunday morning at the Arnold, did you look the way you want? You should have looked the day before.
100%.
Damn it.
100%. I said I was like I sent it to Chris and I said, man, look at this shit, man.
Right.
I was like, look at this dude. And then
A
it was
day, a
just
day
like,
late, a
wow,
buck short, we say.
100%. So this time, I know we went wrong last time, so be sure not to make that mistake this time.
Good, good. We need to see the Patrick Moore that we're supposed to see.
100%. Yeah, he'll be there.
Good.
I'll be there.
Make sure you bring that guy. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Looking forward to this so much, Patrick. Just the New York Pro is always an amazing show. It's crazy that it's going to be in September in another state and everything, but it's still going to be the New York Pro.
Yeah.
And it's third show after the Olympia and the Arnold. It's New York Pro is a great title. I hope I said this to Jonathan too because I'll be happy for whoever wins, of course. You're all
Jonathan
great.
just better. Me and John got a bet. So John just better give me my cheesecake. He know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all
So
you get. That's the whole bet is like a piece of cheesecake.
no, the whoever places after the other has to be like a servant, like for the whole day. So, and I told him I like cheesecake. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's gonna be good. We'll have a good time, man. I'm looking forward to it. I got love for all those guys, and I think they're training hard. I'm training hard, so we're just gonna get up there and go at it.
Oh man. All right. So that is going to be September 5th, guys. They have a pay-per-view live stream. You can go to bevsgym.com, has all the info, or the Bevs Gym Instagram. You can find links to it. We'll be there doing all kinds of coverage, of course, interviews, play-by-play pictures, all that good stuff. and you'll see this man, Patrick, the future Moore, on stage, looking the way we want to see him, large and in charge, shredded to the bone.
Yeah.
The shoulders out to here, arms like that, waist like that, quads flaring out. Yeah, it's gonna be
100%. That's
a
what it's
party.
gonna be.
Cool, man. So I guess I'll see you next weekend in Florida, sir.
I'll see you next weekend, my man.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching Ronline Report with this man, Patrick the Future Moore. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.